Okay, it's Thursday afternoon. We're finishing up our work here, and we're with Pastor/Farmer John from Garfield Community Farm. He'll explain what this garden project is all about.
Well, when we got here, it was a very nice blank sheet of paper, basically. There were some mounds of soil for us to use, and just a bare piece of land with a fence around it. So we really started out with a really good blank slate, because we had soil, we had lots of rocks, and we had a fence. There's lots of chickens and other animals all over the place, so the fence was really important. So we mapped out a layout for the garden, and we wanted it to be something that would be really beautiful, as well as a good and really useful garden for Luis and Carlos. They could come down their steps from their house and enter straight into a garden that will provide them with lots of food, as well as their neighbors, with the church right next to, right on the other side of the garden near their house. So the gate, which isn't constructed yet, we just have a hole in the fence right now, will be right basically at the bottom of the steps, so they can walk right in. And we used an arched layout that was inspired by this rock right here. So there's this huge boulder, and Samuel can stand on the big rock, and right in front of him will be about 15 feet of soil, of bed, and in there will be growing different salad greens and chard, and he'll be able to reach that 15 feet without moving his feet. So it'll be a real nice place to just see the whole garden and start to harvest what you need. And then the next, you can see that each row is real easy to walk through. We used the rocks and some stones to make the pathways. And then all around the edges are some deeper raised beds that we built up. So in here we have, these are all going to be salad greens that grow just a few inches, and then you cut them with scissors. So they'll have plenty of different kinds of salad greens, mustard greens and arugula. There's dandelion greens. There'll also be some chard and some kale. And one of the features that I like a lot in the garden is the spiral, the raised spiral gardens. We kind of have the rainbow garden of sorts, and then we have the smaller raised spiral. So we're using circular patterns within the garden. And this one really gives us a little bit more growing space by raising it up, and it looks pretty cool. People seem to like this layout. It's something that's used within permaculture pretty regularly. And then over here, Luis and Carlo were already growing peppers, and they had in 2 pots about 25 pepper plants. And we used a lot of them in the garden, so we were able to spread those out, and those will grow. They already have some peppers on them, but those will grow and provide lots and lots of sweet peppers. And then along the fence we planted tomato seeds, so some different heirloom tomatoes that we brought with us. Different size ones, like a very small red pear tomato, and then some larger tomatoes. We'll see which ones do best in this climate. I'm sure the small ones will do well. And then in our last kind of plot here, it's rounded because there are some rocks within it that allow for good stepping space. We were able to make that bed larger and not have to walk right in the soil, but we can kind of hop on some of those rocks. And along the back, one day soon, climbing on the fence will be fava beans and I think it's called chijotes. We also have some flowers, and then sunflowers will be growing here. And finally, in the larger area, we have a couple little mounds. We'll have some sweet dumpling squash. We've got the zinnias there. Some of the other things that I didn't mention are green beans and zucchini in these rounded rows here. So that's about it. There's a good bit of shade during this part of the day, which we think is going to be a good thing. We trimmed the trees a little bit, and that's where we got the mulch from. But being in a climate very close to the equator, it seems that midday shade will be a good thing. Morning sun and afternoon sun will be a good thing, but to provide some shade, I think will be good, and that's what the Pame people who have been working with us seem to think too. And really, this is their garden, and they've taken ownership of it, which is great. They've helped all along the way, picking out what seeds to grow and how to do the design. And, they've helped us problem solve, and really helped with the labor. So it's been really fun. That's the garden.